I've got a new website that if you want to subscribe to my newsletter, I've been sending a newsletter every week. I've been sending paintings and kind of talking about why I chose certain paintings to paint and just little tips and about each painting and some inside kind of information. So anyway, if you want to subscribe to my newsletter, that's Przewodek.com, and then just give me your email and I will put you on the list. Anyway, so let's get started. I'm going to share my screen. I use ArtRage, which is a program that I use to make the changes to these paintings. Okay, so this is the actual photo, obviously, and then this is the student's painting, which is pretty good. So what I'm going to do is just kind of talk about how I would organize this painting and what I would do. So anyway, so let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is there's some darks back here. So I'm going to come in with a lavender back there. So there's more of an identifiable color. So let's see. And this first stage is really an exaggerated lay-in. I'm going to come back and put like some greens in this at some point. But right now I'm just really exaggerating everything. Okay, so I'm just going to go in here and think about these trees as lights and shadows and keep comparing one color note to another. Okay, so these trees over here are dark compared to these, so these are going to be a different color than these. So I'm breaking them up into different segments. And then of course the foreground I'm going to really warm up so they come forward. So let's get to this background tree here. I'm going to put a shadow note because the light's coming from the front. So this is going to be in shadow right here. And there'll probably be a shadow here, shadow there. And then I'm going to come in with some lights, a little bit cooler lights than she had. Okay, and then I'm going to come in with some light on these foreground trees. Now that's a little bit too light. Okay, so so this is just a start, and then at some point I'm going to come in and cool these down a little bit. Okay, so that's those trees. Then I'm going to come over here on the left and I'm going to put these in shadow also. Okay, so there's a shadow here. And there's a shadow here. And then I think they're a little bit warmer than the ones over here. So I'm going to just make these maybe a little bit warmer. So there's a lot of green in this. So I'm kind of looking at the differences in all the greens. Okay. So now I'm going to go to the background. Okay, and I'm going to start with the lavender back here. Same thing here. It's a distant tree, so I don't want it to be too dark. So it'll come forward. So this tree here, actually, I'm going to maybe make this a little bit darker because it does come in front of that back tree. Okay, and maybe a little bit redder too. Okay, so now I'm going to look for a color for the tree back there in light. Okay. I'm going to actually mix it with a couple colors here. So I'm going to put some warmth in that too. Oops, too light. Because it's really silhouettes against the sky. So these even in light are darker than the sky. And I'm thinking maybe I want to make these a little bit darker, these. Okay, so now I'm going to get to the sky. I'm going to use a pink because there's so much yellow and green in the study that I'm going to another hue for the sky. And later on I'm going to add some blue. You'll see what I do to this, but I'm going to start with a pink because the sky is light. You know, if I compared it to the shadow, like if I compared this to the sky, look at how much darker this white and shadow is compared to the sky. So that's why I'm going to a little bit of a lighter and warmer color for the sky, which eventually I will add blue to. And like I say, I've got so much green and yellow that I thought a pink would be a good color to go to. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to paint the building. So there's a shadow here, a whitened shadow, and there's a shadow right here. And then there's a shadow kind of like right here, probably a shadow there. I think this is all in shadow. Okay, and then I think there's a shadow, probably a whitened shadow like right here. And then it gets darker in here. I'm actually going to go to a different color, blue. This gets darker in here because there's less light getting in here. Okay, so that's, and then there's maybe some white over here. Okay, so now I'm going to get to that roof. Looks pretty light, this roof here. So now when I'm doing that, I'm thinking, I think I'm going to make the sky a little bit darker here, so that roof kind of stands out. So when I'm painting, I'm always relating one color to another color to another color, and I'm trying not to repeat a color. So I'm painting the differences in all these trees and greens. Okay, so now I'm gonna come in and there's another roof in light over here. That's not light enough. This is in light here, and then I'm just gonna put this all in light for now. Then there's the roof here is also in light. And there's some shadow here. And then there's some trim over there that is pretty dark. So I'm going to put this dark here. And then, because this is all in shadow. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the vineyard. I pretty much have everything in the back situation. Okay, so when I'm doing these vineyards, I'm thinking of big notes, like here's something that comes forward here. They're probably in rows. here and here. And then it probably gets a little bit cooler back here. And then there's some shadow coming over here. So I'm going to make that a little bit warmer. There's probably some shadow coming over here. And then there's probably some shadow here. So on the other side, I see this is probably in light here. And then I'm going to, some of this is in shadow here. Okay, so I'm going to actually put that white fence in. Okay, so it comes from here to here. And then there's some parts that are going over the fence that is going to be in shadow. Like over here, there's probably a shadow. There's probably a shadow here. Okay, so now I'm going to paint the ground, which is in light, is that dirt in light. So we've got maybe a little bit lighter. So we've got this here. And then as it comes forward, it gets a little bit warmer. And then it gets even warmer. Oops, that's two. And then I'm going to come in and get put some of the shadow. So there's a shadow here. And then it gets a little bit cooler as it goes back. Okay, so that's the first, and then I guess we can put a few, there's some light over here, some buildings over here. A light and a shadow. Okay, so this is my first lay-in, and as I'm looking at it, I'm going to change the right side a little, or the left side a little bit. I'm actually going to bring the sky over here and have this tree come over here. And then we're going to have some in the distance over here. And then this is in shadow. Okay, so this is my first lay-in. It's pretty rough, but I have everything organized, lights and shadows. So now I'm going to modify the form, modify the colors, and bring this together a little bit better than it is. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, and so let's go back and forth. Okay, so, and then I'm going to toggle back and forth. And these are the kind of the changes that I made. Now I'm going to work on it a little bit further, finish it. Now the sky, I'm going to actually add some blue to that sky. The same value.